As a servant to the many different people who make up our One Queensland community, tonight I ask a question. What is the biological function of the COVID spike protein? This question asks whether COVID injections are fundamentally safe, because we know COVID injections contain spike protein that embed into our system a genetic instruction for human cells to make spike proteins for extended periods of time. Could COVID injections be instructing human bodies to make a substance that's making bodies sicker, not healthier? Let's review the latest data. First point, spike protein may replace a protein molecule called laminin. Laminin is found in the extracellular matrix, the sheets of protein that form the substrate of all internal organs. Laminin is critical to how our cells hold together. Interfering with laminin can cause our organs to fail. Laminin is shaped like a crucifix and is widely known as the God molecule. When I met with Moderna in my office a few months ago, they were happy to admit their spike protein was identical to the spike protein molecule in COVID. So when studying spike protein, it does not matter what the source is. What matters is that with the new study on the effects of that spike protein on the body, COVID injections are instructing body cells to produce spike proteins. They're instructing body cells to produce spike proteins. What we do know is that the spike protein is fusogenic, meaning its job is to bind cells together. Think Velcro. The same job laminin does. Big Pharma has tried to use spike proteins as an antigen for 20 years, and for 20 years they failed. The COVID injections were not a sudden success. Pharma simply lied and cheated on the clinical trials to use this thing they had spent billions on in an injection arranged to be rushed through approvals and made obscene profits in the process. And now we're seeing symptoms that can be explained with the discovery that the spike protein replaces laminin in the extracellular matrix. Does the spike protein interfere with laminin? The answer is we do not know. This is what happens when we do not know, yet we insist on playing God. The reason using spike proteins as an antigen has failed is because the spike protein mutates in the wild every few weeks. A COVID injection loses any claimed effectiveness very quickly and needs to be updated. This is why the COVID injections are being retired and new ones are being released continually. Do you remember when we were told the vaccines offered protection against new strains? So keep taking them. Yeah, that was a lie, a bloody lie. There was no valid independent science to support that statement. The Australian Therapeutic Goods Administration, the TGA, would normally prosecute a drug maker making misleading comments about their product without proof of the claim. In this case, though, it was the TGA making the misleading claims. So it's the TGA who should be held to account. COVID injection effectiveness was knowingly misrepresented, and here's why. There's no pathway for an antibody in a serum, blood, to get into the lung. While we can deliver a drug to the lungs and it will get into the serum, it can't go back the other way from serum to the lungs. The problem is that in order to stop infection and transmission, the injections had to get into the lungs and the nose. The COVID injections simply never made it there. People who took the injection had levels of IgG antibody in the nose and lungs that were 1,000 times less than the levels in their blood. This is why the injections did not stop infection or transmission and never could have. The TGA knew, or should have known, this was the science, and they bloody well ignored it, in order to promote injections that failed miserably and killed tens of thousands of people, melting down, exploding the database of adverse events. Second point, spike proteins cause brain damage leading to long COVID. Scientists at Macquarie University and the University of Queensland used mini brains infected with the SARS-CoV-2 virus to discover the spike protein could trigger fusion in cells in both mouse and human brain tissue. The host brain cells are fused, possibly causing brain dysfunction, said Professor Lars Ittner, Director of the Dementia Research Centre at Macquarie University. The discovery could explain chronic neurological symptoms such as headaches, brain fog, exhaustion and loss of taste or smell, even long after the initial infection. Of course, spike protein from the injection was not included in the study, yet as Moderna themselves say, there's no bloody difference. The West has spent 3 years injecting people with the very thing that's most likely causing long COVID. Big Pharma never researched the effect of their spike protein on the human body, yet received approval for their sickening products anyway. How this happened is a scandal that must be referred to a Senate select inquiry immediately.